Hello everyone, this is Andrew, the Archon Philosopher, talking philosophy to the philosopher in all of us. Anyway, today we have a title, The Metaphysical Deception. Think big. We want to think big on this. Later on, we're going to have a video from Eric Ladinsky, the chief engineer of D-Wave, just to describe what the nature of this metaphysical deception is. But let's talk about, I've mentioned this before, that we can only see collapses of wave functions on the very smallest level. Why is this? What is going on? Why can we only do this? Well, the double slit experiment shows a structural feature of this universe. That is, we have a probability wave and we get information from it, and then it becomes a particle. It falls into a two-bar pattern as opposed to a wave interference pattern. And this collapse of a wave function is a structural feature. But we only see a pinpoint. We can't collapse a wave function of, say, something large on a macro level, something big like a table or a chair or something like that. We can't change that into something else. Well, why not? Well, this is part of the deception. We can only collapse something very small, a particle. But this happens everywhere in the world. Everywhere we go, we see this pinpoint of light. Everywhere we look, we see this pinpoint of light that we can collapse this wave function. The many worlds hypothesis, interpretation, says that we can collapse a universal wave function and do so every time we make a choice. Okay. So that's on the macro level, but we can't confirm it because it's a different universe, a branch of this universe. So we cannot confirm it. But what we can confirm is anywhere we look, we see this pinpoint. And it's like there's a wall, and everywhere we poke, we get this pinpoint of light telling us we can do this. Well, this is, part of the deception. This is part of the deception. So, the question we're going to ask here is, does the quantum realm apply on the macro level? And let's just get right into the video. And we'll see Eric Ladinsky, who's the chief engineer at D-Wave Quantum Computers. So he built the first quantum computer. And I was looking at this, I don't know, a decade ago. This video is over a decade old and it's very interesting. So let's just hear Eric Ladinsky.
But they ran a current clockwise, right? All the current was going clockwise. It's important. All the current's going clockwise. And all the current was going counterclockwise simultaneously. So they did an experiment that demonstrated this. So that's rather like you being at the velodrome on your bike and going clockwise and counterclockwise simultaneously, one individual, right? It's that kind of crazy. And I said, there it is. And so the New York Times article was Schrodinger's cat lives. So quantum mechanics does apply on the macroscopic scale. It's universal. And the reason we don't normally see it is because of all of these interactions with the external environment with this object. They had isolated the object sufficiently and it had the requisite properties to demonstrate the full-blown quantum mechanical effects at macroscopic scales. So this was, to me, a revolutionary thing. And I said, there it is. That's my quantum bit.
Well, yes, indeed. That was quite something. Yeah. So the quantum mechanics applies on the macro level. He's shown it. He's shown it with every computer he's built. So we cannot do this. We cannot collapse. We cannot know that we can do it. And we cannot do it because ultimately, if we did do it, there would be chaos. We'd be able to change one thing into another thing at whim, and the universe would be unstable. So this is a problem because there's a limiting factor, and the limiting factor is information availability. If there's information about some collapse, then you cannot recollapse it. This was the irreversibility constraint noticed by Bohr at the very beginning of quantum mechanics. And so we are luckily unable to destroy the world And this applies to all sentient creatures in the universe. Sentient creatures are those gifted with the ability to peddle information. And this applies to human sentient creatures and non-human sentient creatures. We're all sort of in the same boat. And in talking about information so much, I see it everywhere, people talking about information. Well, what is information? Let's get this definition so that we all know what we're talking about here, why information is key. It closes the loop in this structural feature from superposition into particle. The information gained from it then closes the loop, creates being, creates the reality that we are now in. So information, after scouring all the definitions I could, this I believe is agreeable to everyone, I hope. Anyway, information is meaning to be communicated. Meaning is a revealing of our being in the world. So our being in the world is where we are and how we are. This has meaning for us. Information upon communication is knowledge. Knowledge that helps us sustain ourselves has import, has importance, and thus rises to truth. And only sentient creatures peddle in information. Only we buy and sell, trade and desire information. And so in this way, we're unique. And this position of each individuated sentient creature has the ability to affect things on the macro, though this deception is hidden from us. Or this truth, this knowledge is hidden from us, and we are in deception. We are unaware of our power. And this unawareness of our power can be manipulated. This has implications, which I'll get into when I move into direction 2. But because we're unaware of our own power, we are at a disadvantage. And coming to awareness of this power will place upon us some responsibility. And perhaps it's the responsibility of kings. Maybe it's the responsibility of the many worlds. If you make choices that are just not good, then there are universes with those choices. And at some point, some of this may fall back into our world and cause this world, which is going along quite nicely at the moment, to be deemed unacceptable. So maybe we should start accepting a responsibility of kings and making our wild nature a little more tamed, a little more reasonable. And in that, I think we'll end the program. I'll get into more of that in direction 2 much later. But for now, I hope we have a better idea of where we are, thus who we are, and thus what we should do. Until next time, thank you for supporting this channel, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Until next time.